head. Feet hip width apart. Breathing in, raise your hands up, clasp and reverse. And then breathing out, go to one side, bounce in and out. Breathing in, come to the center, and breathing out, go to the other side. Come to the center. Breathing out, turn slightly, just caution for any back issues. Come to the center. Breathing out, turn slightly to the other side. Come to the center. Just lift your heels, test your balance. Breathing out, lower your heels and lower your hands to shoulder height. Bend your elbows if that's better for you, but otherwise arms out. Breathing out, turn and look beyond the third finger of one hand. Come to the center, and breathing out, turn and look beyond the third finger of the other hand. And come to the center. And then very gently lower your hands. Lift and roll your shoulders, and making sure that you are stepping your feet are hip width apart. A caution on this for lower back issues, just subtly bend your knees so that your back can lengthen, and then breathing in, straighten up and lower your hands, lift and roll your shoulders, clasp your hands behind you so that you're opening at the shoulder level. You've got 2 lung meridians here, and then breathing out, turn to the left. Doesn't really matter which side you go. Come to the center, and breathing out, come to the other side. And come to the center. Separate your hands and lift and roll your shoulders again. Either clasping your wrists, elbows, or palms together in reverse prayer. Breathing out, go to one side. Come to the center. And breathing out, go to the other side. And come to the center. Release your hands, and then raising your hands up, and then breathing out, lower your hands. I'm just going to walk to the recording iPad and just adjust slightly, because having said that Ginny was decapitated, I'm now decapitated. So hopefully that's better, yes, slightly. And then just lifting and rolling the shoulders and just swaying gently from side to side. And you can choose to lift your heels. You can bring your hands to your shoulders. How much you move. So back issues, less is more, or more effective. And then just gently come to the center and bring your feet together. So raising one arm, breathing out, come to one side, bounce in and out, breathe into the center and lower your arms. And then breathing in, raise the other arm. Hold your thigh to support you and just bounce in and out. Your chin is in and you feel that you're between 2 panes of glass, because you can twist at this point. Breathing in, come back again and lift and roll your shoulders. And then bring your hands together. Hands forward, open the palms, backs of the hands together and up. So you're rotating your wrists, but it's very good for the hands that key into all kinds of areas. You'll find this movement in Indian dance, you'll find it in all the Eastern Tibetan. Each finger has a purpose in the ethereal world, linking into mythology, and linking into, and there are different systems as well, in planets and emotions linking to different organs. You can carry on doing that, or if you want to, when your hands reach the top, open your palms, bring your fingers towards you and reverse the movement. palms together, open them, bring them forward. If you had stiff wrists then and you had been working very hard at anything like artwork, for instance, then this would be very good for your fingers. But then just to, because it's the blood supply going through the fingers, but just to increase that, open and stretch your fingers a couple of times. And just shake your hands out. And then coming to feet hip width apart. So breathing in, hold the breath up, and breathing out. And again, breathing in, hold the breath, and breathing out. Breathing in. This is an extension, so you're giving space for all your organs in the body, breathing out. Breathing in. Stretch your fingers and breathing out. And then breathing in, hold the breath and breathing out. Lift and roll your shoulders. And just bounce your heels. So this comes into a vibrational energy, which is all healing because vibration creates movement. So just bounce your heels. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And last time, 1, 2, 3. And then for this, you're going up and you're turning from side to side, just swaying your arms up and down, up and down, and up and down. And then this very strange shoulder movement, just lift and shrug your shoulders like a vulture. And then just release. So this next exercise, caution for any lower back issues, step forward with your left foot. Your left foot can go slightly out to the edge of the mat if your balance, you need it for your balance, and your back right foot turns out about 45 degrees. So breathing in, raising your arms up. We're going to bend the front left knee as we breathe out and come to touch the hands either on the shins or on the floor, but you might like to touch your waist. So breathing out, soften the front knee and come down, touching your hand, ideally onto the floor. Let your chin come to your chest. Press your front foot down as you roll up to standing. Breathing in, coming up. When you come forward, try and keep the weight on your back right foot. Breathing out. Soften your front knee, come down. Press your foot down as you roll up. And this last time, we're just going to do 3 this side. Come down. Your tummy or lower abdomen comes in to support your forward movement. Press your foot down as you come up. Lower your hands and step your left foot back. And then we're going to do the same with the other side. So stepping your right foot forward, feel that you can adjust your right foot out towards the edge of the mat for greater balance. Turn your left foot out about 45 degrees and feel that you can adjust what I call your stance, depending on your leg length. You would can have it out quite some way. So again, the same thing with modification, but breathing in, stretching your hands up, either looking ahead or looking up. Tummy or lower abdomen in slightly towards the spine as you soften your right leg and come down. Hands either side of your right foot, chin comes into the chest. Press down with your feet and try and put the weight onto your outer back right heel. Difficult. Press down as you come up again. Breathing out, come down. press your foot down or your feet down to support you coming up. And then last time, soften your front right knee as you come down and pressing your foot into the ground as you come up. And lower your hands. Step back. And then come, you'll be very pleased to know on this very hot day, to lying on the ground. Come, take your time to come to kneeling, bottom to the side, and then come to lying. So just to reiterate, in this yoga tradition, having made a little bit of movement, the body needs to rest. But as you come to lying, you can have, for a lower back issue, you can slightly bend your knees if you want to, but just come to be comfortable lying. If you're going to lie properly, then your palms are open, but you can also rest your palms on your abdomen if that feels better. And just take a breath in and out, just connecting with your breath. And now engage your feet you might want to bring your feet slightly closer together to your comfort. Extend both heels so that your toes go up to the ceiling. You can even stretch your toes out. And breathing out, point your toes away from you so that you're stretching the top of the backs of your feet. And breathing in, extend your heels, your toes go up. You can stretch your toes out. And breathing out, extend your toes away from you. And breathing in, extend your feet, toes go up. And breathing out, toes go away from you, and you stretch the back of the top of your feet. And then very gently begin to circle your feet in one direction. So you're circling at the ankle joints. You're beginning to wake up your circulation. And then very gently circle your ankles in the other direction. And then just relax your feet, let them drop out to the side. And travel along your spine to your neck, shoulders, your head. And very gently let your head turn to one direction. Stay here as you breathe in and out. Your focus can be up or along the floor. You can have your eyes closed or in soft focus. Breathing in as you bring your head back to the centre. And breathing out as you let your head turn very gently towards the other side. Your chin tucks in. And stay here for an in and an out breath. And then come back to the centre. Now bend one knee and then bend the other knee. So feet are on the floor, on the mat. Your knees are upwards towards the ceiling. And feel that you are comfortable. So make any adjustments that you need to make yourself comfortable. Turn your palms down just to support you and spread your fingers. And we're going to start with a very gentle pelvic tilt. So your bottom stays on the ground, but you have the sense that you're lifting it up as you press your back into the ground and then just release. So for anyone who's had a severe back issue from things like dusting, they might like to just do this very initial pelvic tilt movement that you'll find some osteopaths will do as part of their rehabilitation program. Of course, it's taken from yoga. The pelvic tilt, but it's a very useful exercise to bring mobility to the lower back, but very safely. And the reason it's so safe is that the back is being supported by the ground as we carry on doing a pelvic tilt movement. And the back being supported by the ground means that the very heavy duty back muscles that might have gone into subtle spasm or tightness can begin to relax. But I should just point out for those sufferers that it can take quite some time for your back muscles to relax, around 15 to 20 minutes. So this is a really, really good start, just a pelvic tilt, getting very subtle movement. As you relax, you'll notice that there's a little gap under your lower back. So you're just subtly moving the spine, and actually you're massaging along the spine as well. So you're getting blood flow along that spinal area. And then hug one knee into the chest and then the other knee into the chest. Again, this is very helpful for the lower back. When you are suffering from the lower back, you probably just want to hug your knees into your chest and not think too much about pointing your fingers down and letting your tummy do the work. That's an option for anybody else who wants to improve their core. But just for back issues, just hug your knees into your chest and very gently rock from side to side. And then very gently come to the centre, and breathing in, soles of the feet go to the ceiling and the arms go up to the ceiling. You can bring your arms behind you, just make sure that your chin tucks in, and breathing out, hugging your knees into your chest. And in your own breath work pattern, repeat this a number of times. As you breathe in, your soles of the feet go up, you extend your heels, your arms go behind you, your chin tucks into your chest, and breathing out, hug everything in. So as we're doing this, opening up onto the arms is very helpful for the lymph system at the upper part of the body and the immune system. And the hugging of the knees into the chest activates an energy in the body called apana. And apana energy is our foundational energy, and it's very much associated with, it's complicated, but in Ayurveda it's called the Vata dosha, but effectively it very much targets pain, hugging the knees into the chest like this. So if you have got suffering from a low back and you hug your knees into your chest, that is brilliant for relieving pain and also getting the digestive system moving. And just last time, breathing in, soles, ceiling, arms behind. Start breathing out and then make your movement with your arms, hugging your knees into your chest again, and then just rocking very, very gently from side to side. And then very gently place your feet onto the floor. Feet are hip width apart, even a little bit wider. Your hands can either rest on your abdomen, your elbows out, or even bring your hands to the side to rest on your waist. Or you can open your hands, palms upwards like a book, which is a stronger movement. Or you can place your hands down, lots of choices. You'll find you'll naturally choose something that works for you as you very gently sway your knees from side to side. Your knees go in the same direction, they're like windscreen wiper shields. And you lift your hip off the floor, but try and keep your shoulders anchored down. Again, if they're not anchored down, it doesn't matter. It's just a very gentle movement where you're massaging across your lower back. Lower back issues, you might like to move your knees less. You don't necessarily want to bring them back down to the floor, but whatever works for you. And then come into the centre, knees upright. Just bring your attention to your palms for a moment and open your palms upward so that's the hands are on the floor. And then breathing out, turn both palms downwards, and you'll find that you're rotating your arms in their shoulder sockets. Again, a very safe movement because your arms are supported fully by the floor. Opening the hands up, you'll notice how easy it is for the arms to get stuck in the shoulders, how they don't often make their full rotational movement. But your shoulders tie into your neck and stress patterns, so opening at the shoulder level is actually very helpful for de-stressing you because it allows energy to flow and pass through the neck, going on up to the head. So this very unassuming movement actually ticks quite a lot of boxes. But again, we're doing this very gently and very safely. And now just come to bringing your hands, palms down, bring your arms in. I was going to roll over and do a Sphinx pose, but that involves movement. We've got someone here with a lower back issue, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to invite you to turn the movement round. When you're on Sphinx, you're lying on your tummy and you're looking downwards, but the purpose of the Sphinx is to lift your chest because it's uplifting and it puts a curve in the back that's quite helpful. So we can do this by lengthening out along the floor, so you're just lying along the floor, palms are down and your arms are alongside you, and simply just lift your chest up, almost press down with your elbows to lift your chest up off the floor. Bring your elbows in towards you to support that lift. And I know this is a very strange thing to think about it, but this is an upside down Sphinx, or you'll feel yourself uplifting from the chest. Your heart is slightly higher. It is a very subtle movement, and then just release back down again. And just open. Bring your feet together. Open your feet outwards, and then just bang very lightly. That's a wrong choice of word. Just your big toes, knuckles, joints. Just gently bang them together. Again, this creates a vibration in the body. Something you'll find in Kundalini Yoga a lot, where they very much focus on creating energy and flow. And energy and flow, the first step to that is vibration in the body. But it's such a strange movement. If you're not used to it, we won't do it for too long, and then just release and relax your feet out to the side. And then bend your knees once more. So this will be brilliant for lower back sufferers, hugging your knees into your chest. For comfort, you can just hug your knees into your chest. If you want to put a lower abdominal focus on this, then turn your hands so that your fingers are pointing down towards your feet, and let your tummy do the work. But lower back issues, perhaps just hug in, relax, choose your option. Hugging both knees into the chest, still holding your knees, let your knees move away from you towards, away from you. I was going to say towards the door, but that's my door, you don't have a door necessarily. Hugging the knees in towards your chest. And then relaxing as you let the knees drift away, you're still holding them. So you can begin to feel, as we keep on doing this, that this massage is up and down the lower spine. Really, really helpful for lower back issues. Because you are very safely bringing a blood supply to the lower back area, all around the lumbar area of the back. And when backs go, at the lower back area, when you're dusting, it's often the L4, L5 lumbar vertebra just above the sacrum that can take strain, because those are the two vertebrae that, when you're moving and bending, those two vertebrae are the ones that get most wear and tear. So this pose is supporting that lower lumbar movement. And for anybody else, this movement is very helpful in general pain relief. And the Sanskrit name for this is called Apanasana. The Apana energy, I think I've mentioned, is the foundational energy. It's the one that if this is out, then everything else is out as well. And then just support your hands underneath your thighs to let one foot and then the other foot come down to the mat. Just very gently sway your knees that go in the same direction from side to side. You don't need to do very much. And just for a couple of breaths, rest your hands, palms down on your abdomen. Your elbows will go out very slightly. And just take a moment to breathe. Your feet are on the ground, your knees are up to the ceiling, and you'll feel your abdomen rise and move away from you as you breathe in and out. Now, staying where you are at the bottom, just raise your hands, clasp your hands, and slide your hands underneath your head. So you're supporting the back of your head. Your elbows, then bring them towards each other, which will mean that your chin comes down to your chest and your head might be slightly lift off the ground. And then just let both knees roll slightly to the right. And as you roll over to the right, your elbows will come vaguely together and your back of your neck will stretch. Come back to the centre and again roll slightly over to the left. Your elbows vaguely come together and you're clasping your elbows in to either side of the head. Brilliant actually for hearing, just above the ears as the elbows come in. Come back to the centre and just once more rock from side to side. Your hips lift off the ground, your knees go in the same direction. You roll onto the shoulder. You come over as far or as little as you like. As you said, as you press into your head on the side, brilliant for hearing. And for tinnitus, of course. Brilliant for the nerves. The chin into the chest activates the vagus nerve, and that is very good for decreasing inflammation. Just one more side to side. And also, of course, you're rocking across your thoracic area, slightly higher on your back, almost in between your shoulder blades. Upper back, really. And then come back. Let your head come rest to the floor, and then slide your hands out. And then hug one knee and the other knee into the chest. And we've got a choice here, either happy baby. So I'm going to just show you half happy baby. Bring one foot down to the floor and the other hand hugs underneath the toe. You can see that's half happy baby. If that's too much, then you can just hug your knees into your chest and slide your hands down to hold your ankles. And if you would like a challenge, then hold your big toes with your second and third finger. Thumbs go on top and open your legs out into your inner goddess. If you like this, but you're not quite making it, then slide your hands down to where it does make it and just rock from side to side. With a half happy baby, you do one leg and then the other. But with your inner goddess, as you stretch your legs out into a V, you'll feel a pull along the inside of your leg. And that is your psoas muscle, which is very implicated in emotional response of fear. And people who ride a lot exercise this muscle more than most. Bend both knees into your chest, hugging them in, rocking from side to side once more. Come to very gently roll to the side or rock up. We're going to come to kneeling, to high kneeling, but take your time to get there. There's no hurry. If you prefer to stay where you are and hug your knees into your chest and just rock, then you can do that. But if you're okay to come to high kneeling, your knees are hip width apart. Walk your hands up your thighs. And breathing in, raise your arms up. Stretch your fingers. Breathing out, roll. Bring your hands to the ground. And walk your hands out so that your elbows and hands are resting on the ground. Your bottom is in the air. Take an in and an out breath. You can stay like this if you prefer. It's very restful. Walk your hands back if you want to do this again. Walk them up your knees and then breathing in, raising your hands up. Stretch your fingers. You can look up if you want to. That does tend to wobble your balance a bit. And then breathing out, bend your elbows and round. Hands on the ground, walking so that your elbows are connecting to the ground as well as your hands. Bottom up in the air. With your bottom up in the air, you're rounding your back, and so the breath is naturally encouraged into the back, and you've got your adrenals sitting on top of your kidneys here, so your stress response. You can, like a dog, wag your tail.
And this is really, again, helpful and quite good for moving lower abdominal energy, which is affecting all your lower abdominal organs. So it's a flow of energy at your lower level of your body, which is again quite helpful for flowing energy, but your immune system as well. Walking your hands back, kneeling up, optional, stretching your hands up, stretching your fingers, breathing out, lowering, rounding, hands come to the ground, elbows, bottom up. You can here, with your bottom up, engage your perineum. Literally, in this position, normally people tense their perineum and their bottom, but with bottom up, you can tense your perineum. If you tense it and let it go, tense and let it go, and tense and let it go, you're beginning to create a peristalsis movement, which is excellent for your digestive tract and your digestive health. And as you tense and let go, tensing, you'll feel your lower abdominal muscles move internally. So this is the true yogic energy seal for inner, not just digestive tract, but also your perineum and general health, lower abdominal health, shall we say. And then just one last time, as you move your hands back to kneel up. You don't have to, you can stay just lifting up and then rounding hands. Bottom up. And just as your bottom is up, you're coming forward, and this is emphasising your stress response, so your nervous system begins to calm down. If you don't like your head hanging down, and some people don't, then take your hands, make fists, and just rest your forehead on your fists, and just move your elbows to adjust to suit you. If ever you had a headache, this is beginning to tune into the energy channels of the fight or flight response. So the blood tends to leave the head to help you run away and dehydrate you. So here it's keeping the blood in the head more. And so, as I said, it's calming for the nervous system and quite good for headaches. You can then come up and walking back, just bring your bottom to the ground. And come to sit in a very gentle, any position to suit you. I'm going to sit in a cross-legged position, but you might like to sit with your legs straight out. And I mentioned headaches. You don't have to have your bottom in the air to get headaches. If you are prone to headaches, and you take the pads of your fingers, press them just above your eyebrows. And that bony part above the eyebrows is something called the neurovascular. And if you press on that, you're going into energy medicine, which discourages the blood from going from the head. So it's quite helpful for headaches. To make that easier, just slightly bring your head forward, because that calms your nervous system. And if you were sitting somewhere, you might rest your elbows on your table or on your legs. But you can just press in. The back of your neck is extended. You've got some energy points at the back of your head, and those are being given space. So all in all, if you ever have a headache, this is one of the things that you can do. If you want to soothe your forehead, you can just gently stroke your fingers from one side of the forehead across, coming off the temples. That's another. It's not as efficient as pressing on your neurovasculars, but it's still quite soothing. And while we're on the subject of headaches, a really unattractive pose, but incredibly helpful, is to imagine holding a bowling ball, drop your second and third finger down. Only you can do this, because it's very frightening if anybody else does. Just bring those second and third fingers under your eyebrow, your upper eyebrow, and just lift up and back. And that lifts almost the top part of your skull and releases pressure. It's like a nanomillimetre of pressure lifts off the headache pressure. Just pressing in with the fingers like that. It doesn't look very pretty, but it's very effective. And then just release your hands back to being comfortable. And have your hands resting either up or down. You can have your second finger and thumb joined in something called Jnana Mudra, which is either down is rotation, is gesture of knowledge, and up is gesture of consciousness, but whatever you feel happy with. And just gently lift your chin slightly up with control. Breathing out, lower your chin to your chest. Come back with your head and then slightly turn to the left. Come to the centre and slightly turn to the right. Come to the centre. Start again, slightly lifting your chin up, then down, to the left, and then to the right. This is a total metabolic rebalance. The up and down movement as we start again, up and down is the pineal and the pituitary, the master gland controller. And then left and right tunes into the thyroid and pituitary, the thyroid and parathyroid. Up, down, left, right. So the pituitary and pineal on the up and down as we carry on, and then the thyroid and parathyroid, left to right, constitute a master gland control. Also, as you move your head from left to right, you're encouraging the left-right brain hemisphere balance. So the hemispheres to communicate with one another. You move your head as little or as much as you like. And if you wanted a complete rebalance, you would do this up to 50 times. We're just going to do a few more before we come back. It's very soothing. It's important when you lift your chin up that you control it. There's no flopping of the head backwards. It's a controlled lift. If you want to make sure that your lift is controlled, as you lift your head up, place your hand on your chest, almost pushing down, so as you become like a cobra. As you lift your chin up, it's a very controlled movement. Left and right. Your head's heavy, so if you just whack it back without control, you can damage your neck. But a controlled movement's very beneficial. Up, down, left and right. And then last time, breathing in as you lift your chin up. Breathing out as you lower your chin to your chest, you're activating the vagus nerve, so it's anti-inflammatory. Bring your chin up as you turn once more to the left. We're now connecting into the thyroid and the parathyroid. The thyroid gland is very much implicated in, and then come to the right, in autoimmune, and it links into the adrenal glands. So exhausted adrenals can impact the thyroid. Come to the centre. Take a moment to have a thought for the day for either yourself or anybody, wishing them well. And then take a bow for yourself, chin to chest, bring your hands to your heart. And thank you very much, everyone, for joining me.